Some people imagine a very different version of their life. Bigger goals, better circumstances, a future that feels meaningful and far beyond where they are now. They think about it often, sometimes in detail. But despite that clarity, nothing really changes. The plans stay in the mind, and action never quite begins. From the outside, it can look like laziness or lack of discipline. But psychologically, the pattern is more complex than simply not trying. For many, dreaming is not just imagination, it becomes a substitute for movement. When someone visualizes success vividly, achievement, recognition, a better life, the brain can respond as if progress has already started. There's a small sense of reward just from thinking about it. Not enough to fulfill the goal, but enough to reduce the urgency to act. The dream feels close, even when no steps have been taken. There is also a quiet relationship with fear. Big goals don't just represent possibility, they represent risk, failure, judgment, uncertainty. As long as the goal stays in the mind, it remains untouched by those outcomes. The moment action begins, the dream becomes vulnerable. So the mind delays, not always consciously, but protectively. Perfectionism often sits underneath this pattern. When someone imagines a future at a high level, they also imagine the right way to reach it, the right timing, the right plan, the right conditions. If those conditions don't feel perfect, starting feels premature, so they wait. But the perfect moment rarely arrives, and waiting becomes a habit. There is also a gap between identity and behavior. In their mind, they already see who they could be: successful, disciplined, accomplished. That identity feels real internally, but without consistent action, it doesn't translate into reality. This creates a subtle tension, feeling aligned with the future self, but disconnected from present behavior. Another factor is overwhelm. Big dreams often come with big complexity. The steps required are not always clear or simple. When the mind tries to process everything at once, how to start, where to go, what could go wrong, it becomes heavy. Instead of simplifying the path, the person returns to imagining the end result, because it feels easier than navigating the beginning. There is also a form of avoidance that doesn't look like avoidance. They think about their goals often. They plan, research, imagine. It feels productive, but thinking replaces doing. The mind stays active, but the external world remains unchanged. It's movement without direction. Emotionally, this pattern can create frustration. There is a constant awareness of potential, paired with a lack of progress. Over time, this can turn into self-doubt, questioning ability, discipline, or worth. Not because the person lacks capability, but because the gap between vision and action continues to grow. At a deeper level, dreaming big can also be a way of escaping the present. If current circumstances feel limiting or unsatisfying, the mind creates a future that feels better. That future becomes a place to return to mentally. But the more it is used as an escape, the less it becomes a plan. And yet, this doesn't mean the dreams are unrealistic. Often, the vision itself is clear and possible. The difficulty lies in translating that vision into small, consistent action. Not dramatic change, but repeated movement. In the end, people who dream big but do nothing are not simply unmotivated. They are often caught between imagination and action, pulled toward a future they can clearly see, but held back by fear, perfection, and the weight of starting. Their mind moves forward, but their behavior stays still.